Okay, everybody, those I see a few people who just drop in. So my name is Telek. So I'm gonna introduce myself when more people come in. So as of now, I'm just reading some of the comments in the live chat. Say, hey Kwang Wang, thank you. So please, well, maybe we're gonna wait a little bit, a couple of more minutes here. So we're gonna introduce ourselves. It will be good if you can share with us where you are watching from, and that's where we can all just enjoy each other's presence. Thank you. And also, please, Kwang Yang, could you please confirm that in the live chat that you can hear me just fine, please? Hello, hello, Mr. Peter. We miss you in the Discord. Maybe the last few days I've been mentioning the Peter rule. So those who are new, they will get to know what the Peter's rule is today in this live chat. Welcome, my friend. Mr. Adash, Texas. Okay, actually, we're going to have some fun here today. Just to see the states that's the most represented. So far, I know of Mr. Peter, obviously, and Mr. Adash in Texas. So, Kwang Wang, please could you share with us your states as well? That's where we can keep a count. For those who do not know already, I'm in California. I'm just south of Los Angeles, and the background you see is my kitchen. While my office upstairs is still getting through some work. So maybe this is the last time that you get to see the kitchen today. All right, California. Okay, so Kwangwan and myself were in California. So that's two for California people. And so far, uh, two or three for Texas. Somebody need to keep a count. I don't know who, my helper may not be on today. So let's see. I'm going to try to keep a count on here. At least somebody keep me honest if if I try to buy things. I know that at least other than states, a country at least, we should have folks from Canada at least, because we have a few members from in our Discord room who are from Canada. So I'm keeping score, folks. I just got something to write down on. So yeah, it's 102. So let's see. Well, yeah, typically people come to these things just as the schedule permits. So we started this low last time. So let's give it up to 105. So in 3 minutes, I'm going to introduce myself, and we will just start reading your questions. So you can start filling in your question. Or comments or whatever you want us to explore. This is about you guys. I'm going to briefly introduce myself for the newcomers, and we will go from there. So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started on here. More people will trickle in as they're coming. So instead of me making some of you wait. Okay, so for those who do not know me, my name is Telex. As I just written on there, I am in SoCal. I started blogging in October. Successfultradings.com. It's a blog that I started to share my path into trading. Um, and right now, I think there are about just shy of maybe 60 or yeah, close to 60 articles on there. The page is ever evolving. So recently we added a live chat. Some of you may have used it in order to get there, where when you're on the site, a visitor is on the site, they have the possibility to actually talk with me live while during open hours in California for the most part. When I'm sleeping, you can leave me a message, and typically, just like on the YouTube video, I usually reply within a few hours, depending on what's else going on. So I am still trading because that's a question that people ask me. All of the tools that I present to you, I use them. Those who have done one-on-one coaching, because that's something that's literally started 2 weeks ago or so. I wasn't ready for it, because just so that you guys know, this YouTube channel, the purpose of it, the original purpose for the YouTube channel was for Google to help rank the blog article. And so in terms of SEO optimization, search engine optimization, that's the acronym for SEO. So literally at around, let's say, January or early February, there were just a handful of users. I kid you not. my family members, some of them didn't even know. They were asking me, what is this you're doing or anything? So from so each video, the aim of each video is to be attached to the theory, if you want, that is explained in the blog. So imagine a blog talking about whatever you want. I mean, it could be some type of how how to make money trading, day trading on SPY or anything. So we will have videos that illustrate that. So how most of the users are finding us because they give us that feedback is true. I think one or two videos at least that's on this channel, and they talk about a tool that I've been using since 2017. I think I started using FlowAlgo in the fall. It was September 2017, more precisely, and I wrote that article maybe in mid-January, and that article then I get to create a video. I thought the video was too long because I the video was over 30 minutes, and in YouTube they will teach you, if you are starting a YouTube channel, they will teach you how long your video needs to be. So for me, I wasn't going for that. I just put as much content on there. So that video is the one that if when people are searching for the word FlowAlgo, and Google is ranking #1, and then they get to see the website and everything. So the YouTube channel now has over. It took us 5 months to get from 0 users pretty much to 100 users. After that, we had our first live session here on YouTube. I think it was in early April, and then between April and now, we jumped over 200 users. So that's why I wanted us to get together. So any question that you may have, this is a live chat. I didn't know that when we first, the first one that I did, because for me, I thought, oh, we will be seeing each other, which we can do for us. As you know, for those who know, on our Discord channel, we have webcams. So we do that on the morning in the pre-market analysis. That's their way, opportunity to join us in pre-market, or events when we have time after lunch to talk about trading and anything else. So I'm going to stop there. So I just ask, pretty much the same number of people is on there as of now. If somebody new come and make, just ask them to tell us which state they are catching the stream from. So we have 2 California, and we have 3 people from Texas. I don't know about the other, if maybe I may have missed one. So let's go and start filling question on here. So our first question here is from Peter. Mr. Peter is a friend of mine. Mr. Peter and I, we have been, for the last few weeks now, we have been having this joke about the Peter's rule. I'm going to explain to you what the Peter's rule is. Trust me, it's no joke. It's actually something that is a strategy that you could implement. So Peter is asking, do I use trade news release on stocks? Yeah, so Peter confirming that he found out using FlowAlgo. Yeah, I was surprised as well, my friend. So FlowAlgo, there are very few. It's new. Let's be frank about this. This whole concept about us retail folks, right? Because we are, in terms of buying power or the ability to influence market, not to use the word manipulate. I don't like that word that much, because when we are winning, most of the time, we don't use the word manipulate. But when we are losing, we say, oh, the market's manipulated. Well, it's also manipulated when it goes in our favor, and we have those nice wins. So, do I use trade news release on stock? Trade news release. Mr. Peter, the short answer of it is that I don't trade news, really, to be honest with you. Let's pick some example. Something of the type, Tesla is going to release next amount of car next month. Apple's going to ship so many phones, or news of the type, the most recent news, for instance. Just look at the saga. Look at Gilead. All of this thing about remdesivir or anything, I try to stay away from that, to be honest with you, because news, when the news is out, guys, everybody, and especially the big sharks, those we describe in FlowAlgo, they already know about that news. So trust me, in expecting the news, yeah, you can trade it, but I don't track anything like that. When the news comes out and the stock does something, from a technical analysis perspective, I'm able to say, it has gone above important moving averages. It has been bullish for a full week now. It's going past a Fibonacci ratio, and then that will get me into trade. So yeah, so typically I don't chase news to be when I'm trading during the day trading. I don't actually have TV on, to be honest with you. I'm just, for me, just focus onto those who took some of the one-on-one coaching. They see me, I show them, I explain how I set up alerts. Let's say these alerts that could be inside my own platform. I trade with eTrade, but you can do that with any platform that you have, right? So, or on TradingView. Some of you have seen me. We set alert together last week, Mr. Adash and I, for instance. We set alert live. That came in, and I posted them on the Discord the moment that they came live. One of them, I think we had an alert on AMD, if you remember that, Mr. Adash. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Peter. Second question on here is coming from Kwang Wang. Kwang Wang is saying that he himself found the channel using Flow Algo. So the question, and then the follow-up to that is that it is hard to figure out which trade on Flow Algo is real money maker. Okay, and then another subsequent question related to that, I believe FUW, I think, maybe, confirm your name for me, please, sir. I think at some time you gave me your name, Ace or something, so I always have a hard time for it, and my apologies, really. So we're going to talk these two questions together. The question by FUW is that how do you know if Flow Algo trades are buy or sells? Okay, let's answer that, because this question actually is a very good question, and we got that a lot. This past couple of days, you can see my reply, because I try to reply to every single message that comes onto YouTube, especially when it's related to Flow Algo. So this flow of option, right? So instead of Flow Algo, for those who are in already, they understand that. So I'm just recapping for somebody who maybe has not tried Flow Algo, which I recommend to you. Try Flow Algo. You don't have to commit to it. You try it for 2 weeks. Try to understand it to see if it fits your trading style. That's all it is. So, and the trial is not as expensive as the monthly one. But while you are trying it, if you make it your goal, as I explained before, for you to make just one trade, because that's possible. We showed you a video where if you focus for a week, trust me, that you are just saying, I'm going to identify one trade, how to make money, a profit on a trade, and then to buy my monthly subscription for Flow Algo. Trust me, you're gonna feel so good, because you won't have to worry about it anymore. And you saw on the Discord channel, there are several techniques that we're gonna go on. So let's start by saying that what is Flow Algo flow on the option side, because you have the equity side, right? I'm gonna talk about both here. So let's please not confuse them, and let's actually pay attention. So on the Flow Algo, meaning the option side, the Flow Algo option side, the left-hand side of Flow Algo, you have options coming in for every single stock that these guys. So, but the thing that the Flow Algo team has done, I'm not part of it, by the way. I'm just a user like you of Flow Algo, but I like it so much because of the power that it represents and the data on there. They only show us, this is important, folks, they only show us the buy at the ask price. Let me repeat that. Flow Algo options, every time that you see calls coming in, puts coming in, may that be, let's say, what do they have? They could have blocks, and they could have, because some people call them split. Some people, there's another name onto it that's evading me as of now. All of those are buy at the ask price, meaning that people who bought them, they were in a hurry to do that. And imagine a situation that we have seen these scenarios before, right? So you are on a Thursday or on, Thursday is a good day, really. I could say Wednesday as well. And you see somebody putting a lot of money on a stock, and that stock, let's say because you have been using Flow Algo for a while, you haven't actually seen that much flow onto it. They put a flow. It could sometimes be as small as, thank you, FUW. The word I was looking for is a sweep. The sweep one, meaning that they go through several exchanges to get that those contracts. So meaning it's urgent. It's a conviction. That's how it's conveyed to you. But the other element is the timeline, for instance. So in the example that I was taking, Somebody has decided that, hey, it's Thursday, I'm going to buy at the ask price some contract expiring on Friday. Since you know most stock have expiration on Friday, right? Except those who have maybe monthly expiration. And obviously you know now about SPY having 3 expiration on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's a cue for you that, hey, this trade, there's some real conviction onto that. So that urgency, Kwang, is one way for you to determine that, hey, something is going on here. And the other thing is that they have a filter at the bottom. Remember that, again, for those, that's why I always tell people, to really explain you flow algo, you need already to see what data it is bringing, right? So at the bottom, you have filtering to say, okay, I just want to show me the golden sweep, meaning the one above 1 million. Or I just want to see the weekly ones. So all of the weekly ones, for instance, Mr. Kwang Wang, those are urgent because somebody has decided that they are risking their money on there. So that's how you use flow algo. Now, there's one thing that we need to talk about and then we need to establish because that's what I've been sharing with people. And some of the readers on YouTube, they already know that. So I was actually like, oh yeah, this is a point. Okay. What we know about the sharks, meaning the big institution, the big money, as we like to call them in the flow algo video or article, right? They have a lot of money. What is a lot of money, my friend? A lot of money is, I have millions. So you can imagine a scenario where somebody could have a position of 5 million on a stock. May that be as options or as the stock itself. And now, they buy as a hedge. This word here, I want for us here to become familiar and comfortable with it. Because several times in the Discord room or in my one-on-one coaching, I ask people, did you hedge? The hedge is going to answer. So the professional, the people with the big money, they are hedging. So some of these asks that we see on flow algo, they could well be a hedge. Yeah, and meaning they are part of a multiple leg position. So if you and I, we just blindly follow it, we could find ourselves, and we do not hedge, because that's the thing. They're hedging, but if you and I were not hedging, we find ourselves into a scenario where we're like, oh, what happened here? I thought they bought this. Yeah, they bought this, but imagine that the core position was puts. So, but flow algo shows you, if they bought puts, flow algo is going to show you, you can go to the history on the right of that stock and get all of the history to say, okay, where are the level of the buys or hedge. The other scenario could be they actually bought the stock. And if they bought the stock, let me pick an example, really, because those are practical. This very week, and even if you go to IWM has been, but I'm using the example of this week, there was a print of 1 million share. IWM is the Russell 2K, the small cap index, right? The price was 130 on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday was the 12th, right? The price was $130. So 1 million share. A share costing $130. So 130 million. So then the question is, now if we start seeing options, so that's on the equity side, on the right-hand side, right? You start seeing options of IWM, what are you going to do? The answer that you should be doing most of the time is use the equity side. And for me, I'm having a hard time, not I'm having a hard time, because so far I've exchanged with at least a couple of members in our Discord room. So I'm glad that we have this opportunity today. The equity side, folks, it makes it a binary decision to say that, hey, we know that I want you from this point on to interpret the flow algo prints as something's going to be happening on this stock. The something now, the guess is just, will it be going up or will it be going down? How do we know that? If there are prints onto it, meaning if a print is at 130 like IWM was on Tuesday, if I'm below that print, it's bearish action, meaning that I want to be on the right side, I want to have puts. And that's what happened. IWM went from $130 in less than 24 hours to 116. So pay attention to the print. The print tells you, for me, that's why I was sharing with Mr. Q, who is also from Texas, that, hey, for me, it's actually easier to follow the print because it revealed the direction to me. I don't have to do the analysis maybe of trying to figure out that, hey, is this buy, because Floalgo only show me buy at the ask, as we talk about, right? Is it buy part of a multi-leg trade? To be honest with you, I would say maybe 1/3 of the trade could be like that. And you have seen that most of the big money, they use long-term, meaning they have time in their favor. Meaning, in their case, even when they want to buy an option, they could put a month expiration onto it or something. They can afford that because they have a lot of money. Some of us, with our accounts, especially if you're a beginner, that's something that will leave you now. Do I exactly follow some of them? I know, for instance, Mr. Q likes to do that. In some example in Discord, he had said recently in this past week, oh, I'm going to follow exactly that. But I'm inviting you today to incorporate the equity side. Look at the equity side. For you say, okay, for you, right from now on, Floalgo give you stock that you should definitely be trading option on, especially when the timeline, the expiration from the big money is very close. Let's say in a week, you're on a Monday or Tuesday, and they are expiring on Friday. Pay attention to those. Unusual inactivity. We have a filter for that, right? Unusual activity. Those are flagged, meaning unusual activity is something that the expiration is very close and is way out of the money. Yeah, what could be going on there? So in that case, paying attention to the equity print if there is no equity print. And if you must, absolutely, that, hey, for you, you're just like, you have done your research, because you should always be doing your research before taking any position. I don't care if it's from Floalgo, because your research actually going to give you insight into what's going on. Because which that's going on, guess what? We see that through the candles, the technical analysis that you're able to do using teletrader or TradingView, as I've explained to you. We have videos on there. Go look at the video comparing how I do nightly analysis every night. If you want to get good at something, folks, do it repetitively. It becomes second nature. I don't understand traders that are ready to trade. They want to be successful at trading. They will come in. They haven't done any analysis for a couple of days, and they expect that, hey, because they're going to see a Floalgo, and then they're going to follow those calls. And mostly they follow calls. I don't know why. And then the trade doesn't work out. But the last thing that I'm going to tell you is, okay, start hedging. Doesn't matter. If you have $100 in a position, it's okay. You can go $80 in the direction that you study on, and that Floalgo, you believe that it's giving you that direction, and put $20 on the hedge. You're going to sleep like a baby. Back to IWM. So IWM, what did he do this week? After actually, it went from 130 to 116, well, it started going back up. Triggered by what? Another print at 122. Yes. All of these things, we see them. That's the value. The Floalgo tells us where the big money is putting their money. And where they're putting their money, meaning that those options are going to be moving. Or not necessarily that strike, but that stock will be moving. Let's just put it that way. The timeline now is only uncertainty. And then that's where you and I, we have to decide what's our expiration. But depending on your budget, you can plan things that are favorable for you. So to put it like that. So I'm going to stop here on Floalgo. We're going to field more questions on today, and then just to put everybody at ease into how to get to use Floalgo. It's a resource that you absolutely need. I've had people ask me, are you still using Floalgo? I say, yeah, I would be foolish not to. Imagine before Floalgo, I was always in the situation, oh man, I did this analysis, I thought was great analysis, technical analysis, not fundamentals, because that's something that I do day trading, swing trading. And by day trading, I had an exchange yesterday with a gentleman, I'm not sure if he's on. He scheduled his one-on-one tomorrow afternoon, so I'm not sure if he got the invite already for the YouTube channel. His name is Calvin from Maryland. So Calvin's question was to me that, okay, so day trading is for him, it has to be a full-time job, meaning, okay, can he day trade when he has another job? Yeah, we all started like that. I still do that. I still do that. I have, as you know, I am a telecom engineer by by day, and by night I do swing trading. No, no, no. Yeah, but for me, that's it goes back to something we post right in our Discord room. You need to set your clear objective when you what you want out of this market, meaning you need to write it down. And then as succinctly as how much and what are you willing to sacrifice for that? Meaning for me, that means every day I wake up 4 a.m. Right now, since I have you guys, I have a group of people that really on the Discord, they push me into that. We used to have a WhatsApp channel where I will just come in, and before that, it's really all of this thing is recent over the last 3 weeks. Some of those people they can tell you who have been on this YouTube. So for me, I like, oh geez, people kept asking me, do you have a Discord channel? I say no, but we have a WhatsApp channel. That's like, are you serious, man? So we started a Discord channel, and for me, one thing that I wrote down that I'm willing to sacrifice is the fact that I need to be available to do pre-market analysis. And it's funny how, since we have been doing pre-market analysis, how many times if you go to the general or whatever channel, there will be a post of, oh, that's exactly what we talked about in this morning pre-market analysis. And I'm like, okay. The other day, Mr. Q was saying me, because I always tease him when he asks the question that, oh, he thinks that the market will be gapping up or gapping down the next day. I say, I don't know. So now he was the one telling me, when I post that, hey, that's exactly what we talked about pre-market analysis, something that happened. Let's say we take a stock, we said, oh, probably for us, we think that this could be going this way. And an hour in or whatever, so I post something to say, oh, this option is up 100% or something. So now he was asking me, who's the fortune teller? I mean, if you do enough study, again, I go back to that word, enough study, these things, and I encourage you to that. You have to commit to say, hey, you want to be successful at this, is not just some side gig or anything. This is a full-time profession that you want to make of. So you could not be there yet. That's okay to say, but make it an objective that, hey, by XYZ dates in 2020 or in 2021 or in 2022, I would like to be a full-time trading, meaning I'm going to get most of my income from there and transition like this. So in that case, how much money do you need to make monthly? Write that down. Write that down absolutely and read that every day. I kid you not. Write that down. But at the same time, ask yourself, what's going to take from you to do that? What do you need to sacrifice? Because yeah, we all want success, right? We all want to, but now there's some work involved. There are some habits that we need to cultivate. What is that you need to sacrifice? What is it going to take for you to say, hey, I want to get, I don't know, I'm just picking an example, 1K per week out of the market. What do I need to do? And write that down. Do I need to learn actually how to trade? Because we have people like that. That's why for us, we were scratching our head. We say, oh, there are certain people actually that will need to be shown the tools, the methodology, and even the psychology of trading, because that's very important. So hence, we had this coaching session where right now, as I think started last week, you can just go to the website. If you go to the service area, you click schedule an appointment. If it's your first time, the first 30 minutes are free on us because we want to evaluate people who are serious. Meaning, the first 30 minutes, I'm going to explain to you, oh, I'm Telex, I've been doing this since. This is how, for me, I see the step that's have taken me to be here and start writing my blog and so on, introduce myself. And then I ask you pretty much the rest of that 30 minutes to tell me. I have a template that some of you may have seen. Tell me what you want, what you need to go. And then I ask you, hey, if it's helpful, do you think that coaching will be something for you? So we'll teach you technical analysis, which leads me to Mr. Peter's question. Why do you use 15-minute chart? Very good question. Mr. Peter may have noticed that. So Mr. Peter, when I come in the day, so two scenarios could arise. So either if I have a position already from the previous night, meaning it's a swing trade, most likely there is no need for a chart on there. What I'm looking at, as most of you know, I'm looking at the chart of the option. And the 15-minute chart for me, instead of, obviously when the market open, I don't have 15 minutes yet. So usually I'm on a 5-minute interval. So until maybe the first hour or so, and then I switch to 15 minutes. 15 minutes gives me validity, meaning that when really something has momentum, because for us, in day trading or swing trading, we want positions that have conviction. There are a lot of positions that, let's say, okay, I could enter the position for, let's say, 30 cents. You guys know I buy very cheap options. I don't buy options, rarely buy options that are $5 or anything. No. You know that by now. So I get them even cheaper than that. But if, let's say, the position, you need to measure the momentum, the potential of that trade, right? So buying something at 30 and thinking that it's going to be to 40, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. But 33% in option, you guys know that based on which that you have seen in the channel, the trade that we have usually do 10 times more than that at least. So hence, the reason Mr. Peter for 15 minutes is that I need conviction. Even when a stock close above a certain level for 15 minutes, then it continues for another 15 minutes, oh yeah, then you know that it may be going places. So that's the reason why I use 15 minutes. But everybody has that thing. There's nothing that precludes somebody from saying, hey, they're not going to be able to get a good and technical interpretation from a 5-minute chart or anything. So that's hopefully that helps. Mr. Peter follows up with another question on here. Do you think that options are harder to trade than the stock itself? Are options harder to trade than a stock itself? In terms of hard, yeah, because the options have the expiration, right? So if you're against expiration and theta will bite you. So that's really the main problem for it. But the reward for me, Mr. Peter, the reward outweighs the risk, meaning that, let's say, if I have $100 only or $200, I cannot trade Netflix. You know that, right? Netflix right now is for $4.50 something. Jeez, it's just for one stock. Okay, so in that case, then I'm saying, okay, fine. I'm going to take my 200. So Netflix, using my 15-minute chart or when I do study overnight, I use at least 2 time frames, folks, right? The 15 minutes, yeah, typically for replaying video on TradingView, but I use the daily, I use the weekly. Sometimes the monthly as well, just to get a general idea, but really sticking to the daily and the weekly. So with that's the $400, I can buy one stock of Netflix, or I can say, hey, $450 this week, I can make some damage here on Netflix. How Netflix is going to run, right? Okay, so I have my own trading signal, by the way, guys. I haven't talked about it. At least you'll see them on Sunday on my video. I don't tell you what they are, but I've been sharing the efficiency. If you guys are now, I'm going to make it a point. So I need to post the Meten one, so to see you on there. Eventually, very shortly here, is going to be an alert system that I'm going to be selling to the public, to be honest with you, just because I've been studying it since 2017. But so coming back to the question, options are harder because we have expiration and theta on there, but the reward outweighs that difficulty. And then for people who are starting, the barrier to entry to option is really, really nothing. I mean, again, going back to Netflix, look at all of the good stock, good between quotes, because all of them that are good stock. Stock that move are good for option trader. Stock that move, okay? Apple is above $300. Tesla is no longer. Amazon, look at Amazon, whatever. Look at Google. The tech, they're ahead of the game. You know that, right? You always see me measure the tech, QQQ versus RWM versus SPY overall. QQQ is always ahead of the game because throughout the years, you look at the return, that's what they have been doing. And you have the big four now overall: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Now you have Netflix onto it. And then they have now, sometimes they pump the market with NVIDIA. So when all of those, you put all of those together, you just have this market where you have the have and the have-nots. I was reading something recently that was published, I think, on Stock Streets or whatever. If you take those 4 stocks that I'm giving you, the total, you already know about the contribution to SPY, right? But the total contribution is higher than the bottom 350 stock in the S&P 500. Just 4 or 5 stock, people. I have the same weight than 350 stock. That tells you what type of market we are dealing with. So hence, most of the time, if you notice some other people on their newsletter, they're always talking about those same stock because those are the stock that are moving the market. But to me, that's a limitation somehow because if you really take the time to build your watch list, that's something that we've talked about, right? I wrote an article on that. Go ahead on successfultrading.com and take the time to have your watch list. So it's small list of stocks, which is dynamic. You can add to it. Hello, we added Twilio last week. We didn't know about it. So thanks to Mr. Q for bringing out Twilio to our conscience. We even traded B1 that we have never traded since its IPO. So that's the value of having a community of people. So we added on there with the research that we do on earnings. We're going to talk about that later. It helps you do certain things. So options had the difficulty, but really to me, I am interested to it because again, my audience are people who are starting and who I do not want them to have this huge barrier by saying that, oh geez, I cannot trade like that or because I don't have the fund necessary. Later on, hopefully in our path together, once we have people that have built accounts or anything, there are plenty of other strategies that we could get into. So hopefully that answers that question, Mr. Peter. How much average percent growth do you achieve on a daily basis trading option? What will you say is your win rate? Oh boy, oh boy. We have had this question before. And actually what's his name? Mr. Kelvin asked that question, the gentleman from Maryland who I talked to you. And my response actually, he had the same response to me when I told him that we are all different, FUW, because here's what's gonna happen. You and I, we're going to take the same trade. So let's say whatever trade that we shared on Discord, right? We could even have the same entry. Now, how do we manage it? That's why some of the time I see you guys question on the Discord. The first question that people ask, hey, Telex, are you into the trade? The second question that people will ask sometimes is, how much did you pay for this contract? Okay, but now how about the exit, folks? Because as an individual, that's where the psychology come in. As an individual, what's your exit strategy to say, hey, am I going to be content when the stock is up 100%? Am I going to, and then let's say I have 2 contracts or 3 contracts. You know why I'm saying 3 contracts, right? Am I going, how much risk am I going with, I'm willing to take for that to grow more? That's all personal. So hence, when I tell you my return, you're going to be like, oh, I'm aiming for that. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Just the things for you to focus on is the technique. Because you will discover through yourself, if you haven't done that exercise yet, to say, hey, I'm the type of person that when I see a lot of money in my account, I want to stash it away quickly. Or for me, when I see a lot of money in my account, I want more of that. That's what's going to influence your percentage daily gain, your P&L. And I've been showing, I think I showed it to at least a couple of people in the one-on-one coaching. I encourage you to keep a tracker that actually I'm going to give you a tracker for dates, the setup, because all of them they're identified by setup. I will explain to you, the spreadsheet if you're doing one-on-one coaching with me. And then you're going to be able to say the trade itself, when you closed it, and then the last column is going to show your percentage win on that. The reason for that is that at some point, after a month, 2 months, I want you to say and be able to say, hey, here's identify my most successful setup, okay? And then if your most successful setup by the percentage return, and then that most successful setup, you want to be able to scale it. Let's say if you were buying 3 contracts before, you buy 4 contracts. That's how you're going to measure your growth. And so that growth is going to vary, Mr. FW. Overall. Now let's talk about the winning rate. I invite you, FUW, because now we are going to, since we are starting the Discord, all the records are there or anything. The trade that I talk about on the video, the stock that I analyze with you guys, since I shared that overall on Discord as well, on Sunday nights going into a week, my methodology is that you see me mostly I trade weekly. So sometimes, let's say I have a trigger, meaning my alert system, right? I have a proprietary methodology that gives me trigger on the stock. Notice rarely do you see me, again, they are parts of the watch list. That watch list is made of 70 stocks. I ask the system sometime at the end of the day, or let's say just 1 hour before the close, I run it. It's through a computer simulated system that you don't want to know about that. Any case, the stock that you see on Sunday, they are not random. They are not random. So those setups, they have names. Yeah, you may have seen those names. Go back and watch the video over the last 2-3 weeks. They have names. And then I think we posted method. I'm gonna post the 10. I think there were just 7 of them. And then you're gonna see the percentage that the move, not on the option, because the option will vary, my friend, because it will depend on, hey, where is this guy taking his profit? For instance, I employ scaled exit. You know about that now. If not, on a one-on-one, I will teach you if that's something that will interest you when a position is winning on there. So what will you say my win rate is? My win rate is surely a function of which that you see on those posts that I made. So go and watch on Discord. I think we are posting that under the YouTube one. So it's the app teletrader for May the 3rd. You saw, for instance, how many those stocks move. And I think we made a video the other day where we showed you halfway through the week how much this week, past week one, they were moving. So those stocks are not random, folks. Those stocks are the ones that I trade. And rarely do I find myself right now going to using methodology that I will be explaining to you that anybody can employ, which is you wake up in the morning, you don't have a methodology yet, you haven't done any research, and you just go reacting to which that the market gives you on that day. That works too, up to a certain point. But then, if that's your way of trading, you need to make that a methodology rather and start seeing that actually consistency. And with the tracker, just through a pre-programmed Excel spreadsheet, you will be able, after a month, after 2 months, to see that, oh, this setup, because they all will have names, you can call it the Peter trade, for instance. Let's just take, for instance, Peter, Mr. Peter, could you tell us, for instance, just since we have been together on here, how often, what's the winning rate of the Peter trade or the Peter setup, if you don't mind? So write it down on here so that we can say, and I will touch a word on it as well, and then actually explain what that is. So hopefully, FUW, that gives you an idea to your question. Mr. Adash is asking, can you summarize key technical concept to learn? 2 technical concepts. Okay, the technical concepts, they are vast, Mr. Adash. You and I, we have gone through the basics. So setting up your trading view in terms of concept, I mean, there are so many others. So day trading is, okay, basically, the basic concept is what? A stock, and when I'm doing string trade or day trade, a stock going above a resistance or being rejected at a resistance. I'm bullish above the resistance. I am bearish below a support level. So that's the base. And identifying them, that's any type of really key concept. A key concept that I can give you that's always true. No matter what you are doing. So if you are familiar with the stock, that's where there's the importance, Mr. Adash, of a watch list, meaning the stock that are within your watch list, as you and I, for instance, we did for this, remember the study we did last Sunday on AMD, you see that a resistance on there, you set up your alerts, that's it. That's really the basic technical concept that you need to know. Support resistance. If a stock goes above this resistance, is more than likely to continue the bullish move. If it falls below this resistance, below the support, is more than likely to continue down. Example in case, the Boeing, for instance. Remember 3 weeks ago or so, I don't know if it was 3 weeks ago, we started this call maybe 3 weeks ago. On the same week, Mr. Darren, for instance, was able, and I think Mr. Q as well, they made wins, good wins on BA calls. On that same week, I told them that, I haven't played BA yet, but for me, if I were to play BA, I would be playing BA put, 122 puts. And that same week, believe it or not, they were able to make money on calls. I made money on puts on BA. So when the market is moving, a stock is moving in that manner, that's golden for you and I in terms of day trading it, swing trading it. We're not married to a stock to say, we want the stock to be going up or down. If it has momentum going up, like Twilo right now, oh my goodness. Did anybody trade Twilo since the earning? We know that Mr. Q made huge amount of money. He traded it before the earning, folks, when it was $122. So he cashed his money. But then since then, it went from 122 to 152 the first day of open after earnings, right? And I think It didn't quite touch 200 yet because my expectation was that it was going to touch 200 this past week. They got it to maybe 197 or something. That was just amazing. Those type of momentum. And you know that we have a way of identifying that. So for those true earnings, we use the methodology called quantitative analysis. All of you should have that spreadsheet. That's a gift because the plan was for my team because it's again something we developed through algorithm. It takes time to run. We would need to commercialize it because those folks, at least one of them, he really worked hard on there. And so for me, I feel bad that at least, but since you guys were like the seed money for this enterprise, so I said, okay, let's go ahead and give it to everybody for free. And we have been posting it on there for you to be able to identify opportunities after earning and to use that successfully. I think it worked great for Roku, for instance. That's the last one that I can remember off the top of my head. Let's see. Oh yeah, Mr. Peter wrote that winning rate is high just looking through the chart. Not sure about the exact percentage. Yeah, guys, some of this set up, why? Because the market, the way that the market is set up, right, it makes it that the market, the volatility is still high. It's increasing the last 3 days. Have you seen SPY volatility? We went through a month between April 9th and May 11th because I was looking at the other day in the pre-market. I shared that with the guys. Look at the size of the candles on SPY. They are bigger as well. Big swings like the one we had on Wednesday or Tuesday where we went from 276 all the way to 280 something or 285. So that's volatility make it that, I mean, some of this setup, yeah, the winning rate, it's relatively high. But again, the winning rate will determine how much you make out of those winning rates is through your discipline and pretty much just your strategy, your own strategy to say, hey, I'm going to exit here or I'm going to enter a trade here. Let's fill another question. Can you summarize? Yeah, we talked about that one from Mr. Adash, the technical concept to learn. And the average percent, those were the last 3 questions. So yeah. Wow, 56 minutes in. Times does fly by. I don't even sometimes look at what goes on when we get into here. So any further question? Oh, don't let the mic scratch your shirt. Thanks, Mr. Kwan Wan. I forgot about it. That's why I'm holding it like this. Yeah, because that's very it's not pleasant in the ears. Sorry, I have to drink on camera on there. So, Mr. Kwamwang, you seem I know some of the other folks here. They're familiar in our Discord room. At least those who have said something. How long have you been trading, sir? While we await the answer from Mr. Kwamwang, we have another question here. Thought on crypto. I have never traded crypto, guys. The close, I didn't even come close. All of that. I had one of my church member. I remember just before the crash of it. She after church one day she started talking to me about crypto. That's one for me was like, okay, if I had any interest in that, it was time for me not to touch it. So I've never traded any crypto at all. Where crypto stand right now, Bitcoins for instance, but I know the level. Don't get me wrong. You know how analytical I am. So I haven't even done any analysis sometimes between the equities, the stock, and the crypto, how they go. I know stock that's the earnings you use to be linked to crypto are NVIDIA, AMD, FCX. So from time to time, I will look at how they react or anything. But I don't have any thoughts on say, what's the future of crypto or anything. Obviously, I mean, with the momentum and the age that we're in, one could say that, hey, it's bound to be the future, but I don't have any indication on how to trade it as of now or anything like that. Next question from Mr. Peter. What were you saying about signal service or something? Yes. Okay, so I'm saying that for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, on Sunday night, those videos on Sunday night, we usually call them weekly recap, right? So during weekdays, we call them daily recap. And with the Sunday night one, we call them weekly recap. So weekly recap, I think the last 3 weeks, because I've been purposely introducing that to you guys at least, the stock that I'm talking about in there, they are the stock that comes part of my trading signal or my trading methodology. So meaning it's a methodology that I've developed and they have names. Those triggers, they have names. So for instance, if you go to the Discord channel, I think I have a watch list for them on every week. So you have 2 instances of them. So I'm saying that, Mr. Peter, going forward here, I'm going to unveil a system, a paying system where I will be selling them to people who are willing to buy them. As of now, I need to figure out how I'm going to automate that because there's a lot of work to be able to say, oh, you're sending people alerts. So I'm just thinking as of now, how to go about that. But you guys have been seeing them every Sunday night. And the performance I've been posting at the end of the week. You go into the Discord channel. I've been posting that, hey, these are the stocks that were part of the Telex methodology. And you will see the percentage in the performance view of TeleTrader. I screen capture that and I paste it on Discord to say, oh, 4%. I show, for instance, targets. Remember on Monday target, I pasted something saying, oh, target was part of the Sunday, of the Sunday one. Here, actually, let's see. While I'm saying that, can I go to, I haven't posted it yet, but maybe I don't know if I'm going to post it live on here just for distraction or anything. So I'm going to TeleTrader. TeleTrader is a free app. If somebody is wondering, what is this guy talking about? TeleTrader is a free app that you can download on your phone. That's where I do the technical analysis. Some of you who are doing one-on-one coaching, I went with you and we set that up. So let's talk about, for instance, so this is, I'm not sure if my camera is going to catch this on here. So for a minute, these are the May 10 triggers that came in from my system. So I'm going to be posting them on Discord. So you have Square that gained 5%. So Square actually, we traded it both directions. That's the thing about these alerts. And that's what's going to confuse some people. They're going to be thinking, oh, if he's sending alert, that means that he's bullish or something. No, I'm neither. So that's, for me, that I need to figure that out. Because if I send people alert that, okay, I'm going to be trading this stock, that's not enough, I think, for most people that I'm seeing. They want to know that, hey, you are trading, first of all, the alerts, because they have been studied like that, by the way, folks. Meaning that when the alerts come on Sunday, all the expiration on those options, they are for that coming Friday, believe it or not. Yes. And I have statistics. So meaning the subscription, when I start selling it, I'm going to be able to tell you that, hey, in average, when this alert comes on Square, the percentage of time that is bullish is this much, meaning that the percentage of time that the calls win is this much. The percentage of time that the puts win is this much. Now that's statistical base, and we know, okay, statistical base. All I'm telling you is that over the 6 day from that Sunday, or the 5 day, if you will, from that Sunday, you're gonna have enough move on that stock for you to make money on option, and that's what has been happening. That's why when somebody goes to the question, hey Telex, what's your winning rate? I am hesitant because if I tell them this big number, they're gonna be like, are you serious? Yeah, but I mean, you have seen some of the videos. And now, when I couple that with, hey, I have the system, and that system, for instance, during the week at some point, I see a flow, I'll go onto it, or I see a print onto that stock. What do you think that happens? That's magnified. That's magnified. So that has happened on quite a few of them. So this past week, we had Square. Mostly, well, we won on both directions because we traded puts, remember, from 75 to 70, we had 72 puts. They won. But my friend, that was just on Wednesday. A 3 days time in this market is huge. So between that and Friday, what happened? The 78 calls, what do you think the 78 call, how much were they worth when the stock was at 71? Actually below 71. They were cheap. They were cheap, guys. That's why you're able to see this huge percentage gain on there, because when I'm saying that I'm trading a stock, that stock through the signal, I am open to the possibility that it will go in both directions. It will give me gain in both directions in a given week. I kid you not. That's how volatile this market has been. So Square, study Square, go back on your trading platform And use actually, since I think that your trading platform will not show you the expiration that happened this past Friday, they removed them, right? Use the May 22nd expiration on Square and look, starting on Monday straight up, if you were to take Mr. FUW is giving me the answer to that. How do you hedge? Would you set a strangle? Absolutely, my friend. You know that already. So depending on what's going on, I could be certain of a direction really just based on technical analysis, meaning I haven't taken a position, right? I have the alert coming. On Monday, I come in, and the market happened to be down 3%, and that momentum is confirmed. I'm going to day trade that in the direction that the stock is going. There's no need for me to hedge it. I'm hedging my position, guys, if I think that there's opportunity that a move's going to continue overnight, which usually if on a Monday, you already have a move. Remember last Monday, I told you guys the market was down 1%. I'm saying, oh, that's a good thing because now we most likely not going to have that tight range that SPY was in. And SPY is down and then up. We'll need that in option. And then while, for instance, puts were winning on Tuesday or anything, I didn't see anybody in the Discord room. It was very quiet. Maybe people were busy. People work as well. But for me, I was like, geez, am I seeing a pattern here that when the market is going down, actually most of the traders, either because maybe you can have positions in the opposite direction, but guys, use hedge. So Mr. FUW, thank you. So hedge, you know how I hedge, right? I've suggested hedging. You do your analysis based on, you should have some type of indication, especially if it's coming from my system, to be able that, does it play mostly bearish or bullish statistically? So you put your hedge 2-1, for instance. What was this? Was 2 weeks ago. And I wish Mr. Darren was here because we posted on a Thursday. It was a Thursday, folks. I was entering a position that we call Lotto on Western Digital. And I said, okay, I'm going to hedge though because I'm going into Friday. I'm going to put a 2-1 bias for calls. And I was playing the 42 calls. The price was 41.7 or something at the time I was entering it. And then the next day, the stock opened at $43. And I sold my calls very cheaply. We made a video on that. We have a YouTube video on that. And at the end of the day, the stock ended up trading at 44. That's one thing that we're going to come back to because I'm seeing that again. We're going to be talking about the Friday runners because it's on Inspiration Friday, these guys in the market for the last year and a half and for maybe 2 months, we didn't see that. But now, did you see Friday? You could pretty much, guys, do nothing on Friday, right? You come in 2 hours before the close and make huge money because they just ramp up that thing. They just went on that market. So I love just sitting back, looking at those and saying, okay, I see this pattern. And then I'm able to do that. We have a study where we know stocks that's historically not out of the blue because we have the numbers. I can go back and tell you that this stock in 2017, if you were just trading it on Friday, trading calls, this is your percentage win rate. On 2018, this is your percentage win rate. All of that study, folks, guess what? Is actually free on the website. There's an article on it. If you have read that article by now, let's say if you have been here maybe a month or so, after you saw the videos, you went to successfultrading.com, you find that article about runners, you'd have just been like, and all you need, there may be 10 stocks that consistently do that year after year after year. All you really need is just maybe 3 of them. Okay, you take them on a Friday. Oh, by the way, I'm giving, that's a methodology, Mr. Adash, another methodology that I'm giving. For you, that's how you can make your money out of the market. Just consistently to say, and again, with the open mindset that, hey, you could wake up one morning, the market is down 5%. You take your hedge. You can say 3-1 in favor of calls because we know that they're bulls runners, meaning they're bullish mostly on Fridays. And you just make your money out of that. So we do strangle, we do hedge, but rarely one-on-one, but sometimes we do one-on-one hedge. We do one-on-one. Square, for instance, we did one-on-one hedge. But when you do a one-on-one hedge, here's what I want you to do. I want you, as one position start gaining the winning side, now you have an established direction, you can add contract onto it. I think we did that once on AMD. Yeah, we did that 2 weeks ago live, I think, or was not I think. It was on the Discord room. It was Mr. Darren. So AMD did exactly what we were expecting it to do. It was running bullishly, and we had an edge on it, and then we said because it went sideways for 2 days. That which for AMD is like sideways for 2 days. But on a Friday when it started running, I just told Mr. Darren that, oh, it's okay, go ahead and add. I think he added maybe 2 contracts or whatever. And then he talked to me afterwards saying, and then I will ask him, how many contracts did you add? So when a stock gives you a direction with conviction, now you are able to transform your one hedge or whatever the ratio was in favor of the winning direction, and thus increasing your gain. Hopefully that helps. So let me take a sip here, guys. Oh, Mr. Kwang has a question. How do you join the Discord group? Oh, I've been getting so many requests for the Discord group, folks. You wouldn't be amazed. Sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant, but Mr. Kwang, I do not give the Discord link away as of now. So I just want you find our email on the website. Just send me an email. I will give it to you personally instead of pasting it on YouTube. As of now, for reasons that are just personal to me or whatever, or maybe I'm not prepared to manage a large group, because trust me, if it's just for a large group, everyone now, every day a day does not pass by where I get, some people just a simple, there's just actually on the comments on YouTube videos, what's your Discord channel? What's your Discord channel? So Mr. Kwang, send us an email. I think either the telex at successfultradings.com, or I don't know if actually YouTube allows me to give an email, because most people have tried reaching Successful Tradings by leaving their email on the comments of YouTube. YouTube does not allow that, by the way. Those comments, they put them into spam, and it took me a while to discover that I have a lot of comments in the spam because people were putting their personal email in the YouTube does not allow that. So just go to the website, send us an email, just an email, to say, you want Discord, and introduce yourself, how long you have been trading, and what do you expect to get out of the market. And I will gladly, you take the time here today to attend this live session, so I will definitely give you access to the Discord channel. You earn it. Wow, thanks, guys. This is fun. I enjoy doing this. I don't care about the number of people that are here. So again, for those who know, this channel started with zero subscribers. The fact that we are over 200 today, that's just a testimony to it. I know people with this lockdown that we have been, this restricted movement. I don't like the word lockdown that much. People on the weekend, they maybe go out of the house or anything. Me, myself, you can see my kitchen behind and everything. After this, I'm just going to try to enjoy some sunshine. So I appreciate those who are taking the time. And obviously, you guys, we are together on the Discord channel. And again, guys, I'm committed to, hey, you guys show up. I'm going to continue showing up on that Discord because it's about you guys. I want everybody to determine what they want to get out of this market, and my role is to be of service to help you get there. So, but you have to do your part on there, and if you are doing your part, definitely that's make me accountable to help you reach whatever level that you want to take your trading to. So, if we're gonna hang out maybe let's say 5 more minutes to take some question. I see maybe 1 or 2 souls that came in. If you have any question or if you have missed this, you can. This is recorded automatically, so YouTube will let it just like any video replay. That's actually nice. I didn't know about that feature. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We'll have a good weekend as well. Trying to rest, trying to be safe, and we will catch each other on. Sunday night, I'm going to post a video recapping the week, and also, as you guys know now, giving you the set of stocks that we see entering trade into the coming week. All right? I appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.